Sports, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 11:40 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
All right, Kyle Draper, we got to talk fast today because we have a short show. We're only on for an hour, so everything you said, we got to squeeze everything in. Kyle Draper in Philadelphia, of course. We take you up to game night an hour from now with the Kings getting ready to play the Sixers. Can this be right, Kyle? The Kings haven't beaten the Sixers, and what, they've lost 9 straight to Philadelphia? What's going on?
9 straight. 2017 was the last time they won at Philadelphia, and so we owe them. I mean, we didn't talk about teams we owe them for the last 9 losses. How about that?
Yeah, and a golden opportunity, right? I mean, still a fine team with a lot of talent, but no Joel Embiid means the Kings got to take. This is your chance to break that streak, Kyle.
Yeah, and I was on the bus riding over, and there's a sense of optimism. I had a chance to talk to Harrison Barnes, and I was like, dude, you ready to go home in this road trip? He's like, why? We 2-0 on this thing. Let's keep it going. And so I like that attitude. I feel like I've been on the road for like 2 weeks. It's only been like 4 nights so far, but no, this is a big one because if you get this, guarantee yourself a winning road trip. And you know how it is, Whitey, in the NBA, you'll take that. That's all you can ask for. If I could have a winning road trip against these 5 teams, I'll take it.
One of the things I like to do on the day of a game, we know that after the game, you bless us with Drape's takes. And I got Whitey's wish list, and it's real quick. And I want to see what you think of my wish list for tonight. 3 wishes, if I had 3 wishes for tonight. First would be that Keegan uses tonight, nationally televised game, as kind of a coming out party, chance to show the nation that, yes, I'm becoming the player that the Kings hoped I'd be. It's happening before your very eyes. What do you think of that?
No, I love that. And, you know, it's on ESPN tonight. Of course, everybody, if you're watching it on TV, you'll be watching NBC Sports California. And of course, if you're listening, it's right here on Sactown Sports 11. But you're right. You know, you got Tyrese Maxey, people consider an all-star, one of the game's best young players. Why not Keegan Murray tonight? Put people on notice. And he's been playing extremely well as of late. And I think you're right. This is a chance for the nation to see what this guy is. And he's been playing so well to start this month of January, even really the month of December. And so your wish list, okay, I want to see that also tonight.
All right. Well, here's my second one. Second one is Domas and De'Aaron show fans around the country how ridiculous it is that they're not getting more votes, right? Come on.
I would say, don't get me started on that, Whitey. I saw those numbers come out yesterday, and our guy Domas, you could argue Domantas Sabonis is a top 5 MVP candidate this season, the way he's playing, but he's not a top 10 all-star in the front court. What are the fans thinking? And so you're right. We got to do it on national TV. Domas comes out and have one of his 25, 13, and 10 triple-doubles in a win. I think that puts the nation on notice, puts the NBA on notice, no doubt.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday, I was thinking about his numbers of late and how great they've been. And you mentioned the MVP, how he should be a candidate for MVP. So I went to that Basketball Reference, the MVP tracker, which we've talked about, and he was actually 8th on there yesterday. He was actually 8th on their list. And I thought, man, this again, it's a formula. It's not an opinion. He's the 8th best player in the NBA, and he's not a top 10 vote getter in the Western Conference front court. Come on, we're better than that, people.
It's a popularity contest. I get it. I understand, but still. Yeah. He should, like, the way he plays, you know what it is? People aren't tuning in to Sacramento Kings games.
I think you're right.
Because if they actually watched and saw how he plays, it's fun, it's encouraging, it's exciting. Like some of his dunks this season and the way he leaves it all out on the court. You hear so much about load management and the NBA is soft. Well, just watch Domantas Sabonis play. That dude is not soft.
Right. And I think today is triple value on your all-star votes. You may have to have an NBA ID for that, but it's really simple to get. And you just go on to NBA.com. And I think in order to triple your vote, you may have to have one of those. But if that's the case, it's very simple. Thirdly, and finally, Kyle, and you could speak to this, My third wish for tonight is for the Kings to play with some defensive grit and some East Coast nastiness tonight, right?
Yeah, and we looked up some of their numbers over their last 7 quarters. I think it's been their defensive rating is like 95 or something like that, something insane.
Yeah.
And I know it's against Detroit and Charlotte, 2 of the worst teams in the league, but you're seeing some signs right there. I thought that game against Charlotte, the way they shut down Terry Rozier in the second half was impressive. And you're right. This Philly team, it is an elite team, even without Joel Embiid. You look at the numbers, this team is a top 5 offensive rating, top 5 defensive rating. So I think it's going to be a defensive game, like where you have to play defense. You're not going to get into a track meet with these guys, especially without Joel Embiid. You want to hold them to 100 points, 105 points, and lock down defensively.
Yeah, that's one of your wishes. I know you've been saying that all year. You want to see the Kings win like 96-89 or something like that, right? You're still hoping.
It would be ugly, but it showed me that, you know what? It doesn't have to be 135, 130. The offense doesn't have to be flowing. You can rely on something else. Mike Brown has said he would like to see that also, and I will say these last couple of wins, it's not like the Kings have used their offense in terms of, hitting 20 threes or 18 threes to get wins. They have been playing better defense as of late.
Yes, and I think they're 16th, or they're tied with 2 other teams. They're right there, just about middle of the pack. They're actually their defensive rating is better than Milwaukee's right now. And I know they got the Bucks coming up. So does that mean, Kyle, that maybe whoever it is within the front office who feels like, you know what, the defense is on track, we can focus on offense here at the trade deadline? What do you think? Is that the way we need to all be looking at this now?
I don't know. I feel like we can't find that one player. That one, those needs in one player, right? Player can't cure it all.
Right.
We can't get a 25-point per game scorer and a lockdown defender and a shot blocker as well. Like, those don't grow on trees. It'd be nice to be able to go out there and trade for a Giannis or somebody like that. But we realistically, that's not. I think if we're talking about a championship contender, I think there are 2 moves that need to be made, Whitey.
Ooh.
It's just not one. I think there are 2 moves that need to be made. I think you need a better defender, ideally a better wing defender. I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's Jeremy Grant or whoever, but I also think you need more bench scoring help as well if we're talking about it. I don't know if Kevin Huerter's a starter going forward. He's going to be out tonight, but you need another scoring option, I think, from the perimeter.
It drives me crazy. I'm sure it drives you crazy and Kings fans as well. We knew last Friday something may happen. And then the way the rest of the country is when they look at the Kings, they're so far behind what's really going on. And we're still hearing people, and it's like they think they have an exclusive. Yes, well, the Kings were talking to the Raptors about Siakam, and Harrison Barnes and Huerter were being discussed. Like, we knew that a week ago.
Right.
Give us something new. I'm not sure what new we have today, other than, as I'm sure you've seen, Zach Lowe is saying that the Kings may not be, and I think you have already said this, the Kings may not be willing to bring in somebody that they're going to have to pay a lot of money to in the offseason. I'm wondering if that's kind of the Kings kind of sending signals that the big move may not be right for us this year at the deadline.
Yeah, it's interesting because I talked to somebody in the organization about this very thing recently, and because my question was, are we okay with going into the luxury tax? Are we okay with competing with the Bostons, the Lakers, in terms of the Warriors, in terms of financially, because we're a small market? And I was told, yes, this franchise wants to win. And so they won't be scared off by a big contract. It won't be a financial decision, if you will.
Okay.
Which is encouraging to me. That's what I was told. Take it for what it is. But that gave me a sigh of relief, because then that means the Zach LaVines of the world are in play. Pascal, like if Pascal, you wanted to resign him and bring him in, the finances wouldn't be a hindrance to that. So that's encouraging to me. I was happy to hear that.
It would be, pardon me, it would be a relief to me is if you decided, you know what, I was wrong about Wiggins. We don't want him here. That would be a relief to me if you got off the Wiggins wagon.
That's not going to happen. I'm still firmly in Wiggins. And it's interesting. I'm watching NBA Today, and you tell me this, Whitey. I'm watching NBA Today, and they're mentioning Wiggins and Moody.
Well, that's what I told you yesterday, remember?
You mentioned that, So if that's the case, does that change things for you? Would you be okay for it?
I'm a little more open to it, and I hope I'm wrong, but I just, we've been over it. I understand how you feel, and if Wiggins if you can salvage him or get him, to be interested in basketball again, it'd be great. I love Wiggins. I just feel like he's a guy that right now it's like basketball is just no fun for him. It's kind of sad to watch.
It is the most mind-boggling things because think about it. You come off an NBA championship.
Yeah.
You're arguably the second best player on your team. You should be riding high, feeling good. And then something happened where he just went nosedive, and now he's been in the tank. The dude is still only 28, about to be 29 next month. Listening to ESPN today, they say that the price tag for Wiggins isn't that high. Like there's not much of a market for him. So you might be able to get him on the cheap. And so I think he would help you out. That's just my opinion.
How much does it complicate things for the Kings, given that now you've got a team like the Warriors that they're like all in compared to where they were a week ago? We knew a week ago that, they might be looking to do something. The way they've played this week, the Warriors look like they're all in. So there's going to be more competition, right, for some of these players than the Kings thought there might be.
And here's the thing about it that people aren't talking about. The Warriors, in my opinion, can put together a better package than anybody in the league. Hear me out. And this is why. You trade a Kuminga or a Moody or somebody like that. They have high value. And how about their future draft picks? This Warrior dynasty, Whitey, isn't going to be lasting forever. And so maybe you trade a 2028 and a 2030 and I know we're talking years in advance, but maybe you do something like that and that'll have value. Steph Curry won't be there anymore. Draymond, like the whole dynasty will be over by then. And so I think the Warriors are a real player out here in the trade market.
Well, I know we have a special interview coming up. What can you share with us here about the chat you had today?
So we talked to Jay Triano, assistant coach of the Sacramento Kings. And to me, he's one of the most interesting guys because he's the offensive guru. And I had a chance to ask him about the offense this season. Remember, it was a historically great offense. I asked him, was he worried about the offense so far this season? The numbers are down. The shooting percentages are down. So we got a great answer on that. He also talks about Team Canada and how Canada is that they are gearing up for this year's Olympics. They're looking to make some noise. And also his return to Charlotte, he tells me a Michael Jordan story as well. You know how it is. Anytime you can tell a Michael Jordan story, that's gold. So, it was a fun interview to do.
All right. So Drape's exclusive interview with Jay Triano when we come right back. Take a quick timeout, right back with Jay Triano. So Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus, free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Are you ready for the Kings to snap that 9-game losing streak against the Sixers? Drive Guys take you up to game night tonight. And with more on the streak with the Kings, where they are right now. We're proud to share with you Drape's exclusive interview with Kings assistant coach Jay Triano.
All right, Coach, thanks for jumping on the show. In the middle of this 5-game road trip, 2 good wins, starting off against Detroit and Charlotte. Now you take on a tough Philadelphia team. No Joel Embiid tonight. But what should we be looking for tonight? What do they do well?
Well, they're a very good defensive team. They switch a lot. They put pressure on you. They're number 7 in the NBA in turnovers. So we've got to take care of the basketball, and we can't let their pressure stop us from doing what we want to do. Or they're switching, where they try to get you to play ISO basketball, and we can't fall into that trap. But they're good defensively. Obviously, without Joel there, even with him in the lineup, they're like 25th at the rim. So we want to be aggressive in taking the ball to the rim, and we have to drive past the pressure that they put on us.
You've been through a lot as a coach, obviously, in Toronto, in Charlotte, and now in Sacramento. How have you seen the game change, and how has that impacted the way you structure your offense?
Well, it's changed quite a bit. It's crazy the way the game has evolved. I mean, it used to be a mid-range game, and now teams are hunting threes, and it doesn't seem like you can find enough of them out there. But you adapt with the times and the numbers of the game. I think there was that book that was written 7 seconds or less. That team now in today's NBA would be, I think, 25th or 26th. In pace.
Really?
Yes.
Was that the Phoenix Suns team with D'Antoni and those guys?
Yeah.
Wow.
That team played at a pace right now that would put you at about 26th in the NBA. So everybody's learning how to play faster. We talk about transition and pushing the ball, and you push it with pace to try to create it. Obviously an easy score, but also a mismatch too. If guys can't get matched up to the guys that they want, that's probably. That's some of the reasons we run an offense, is to try to get mismatches against somebody. Yeah. But we can create that in transition. I think more and more teams are doing that. But that's our staple. We want to play fast. We need to have great spacing.
Last year, historic offense in terms of efficiency. Yeah. A little dip this year. Anything to be concerned about? Tell me about the numbers there.
No, I think the numbers that we look at quite a bit are. Where our shots are coming from and the efficiency. Obviously, we're not shooting at the same rate we did last year. Last year, we had 3 or 4 guys that were up around 40% from the three-point line at this point of the season. So that put us in a really good spot. But we think that our shooters are going to come around and make shots. We're just concerned. The thing we watch is, are we taking the right shots? And we are. We are. I mean, our rate for where we're shooting the ball from is pretty similar to where it was last year. We have 2 of the best mid-range players in the game, and Domas and Foxy, and that doesn't hurt our shot quality or where we're shooting the ball from. So we try to give them as much space as we can and make sure that we put shooters around them.
With Domas, obviously in his second full season here in Sacramento, one of the best passing big men. Yeah. Did you tailor the offense to play through him, or you have a weapon like that?
Yeah, this is an offense that I started with in Charlotte, and we did it. And we had Mason Plumlee, who was a very good passer as well. And it was a natural fit for Domas because he touches the ball pretty much every possession, and we want that. Teams gear up to play against pick and roll. Well, if Domas has it and he flips it to you and we're this far apart, is that a pick and roll or is that a dribble handoff? Mm-hmm. And that's where teams get confused in coverages sometimes. And we want to create that confusion. Yeah. So he's a great playmaker. He's very unselfish with how he distributes the basketball. And, we like playing through him, obviously. If he's handling, the big who's guarding him has to move away from the basket, and that opens up for our other drives. So there's a lot of reasons why we want him handling, but the fact that he's so good at it, it puts us in a good place offensively.
One thing I'm seeing, and I don't know if it's just a recent thing, Coach, or you tell me, but if he gets the ball in the paint, he's looking to punish. And I know that's part of his game, but I feel like he's been even more aggressive here last week or two.
I think a lot of that is matchup based. If he feels like he can go through somebody, he's going to go through somebody and get to the rim, and he's very efficient down low. There's really not an answer for him because he gets to that right shoulder and he buries that in. And people that have played against him comment after they look at him and go, "I didn't realize he was that strong."
Right?
Like he's just. And if you look at him, it's not like it's muscle everywhere. He's just so strong from top to bottom.
Right.
His hips, his legs,
His mass,
everything.
all that. Yeah.
I don't want to run into him. So I can imagine people trying to guard him because he puts his head down and and he goes right through the chest a lot. So if he gets the ball at that point, we want to still cut. We want to make sure that we cut, puts us in good offensive rebounding position. But he's also got to, not just be a distributor. He's got to make people pay.
Right. You're coming off a good win against Charlotte, and Malik, obviously spent 4 years there, so he was excited to get that win. How did you feel about that win? Did you want to kick their butts too, especially since they got us last week?
Listen, man, it's this league is about finding 82 ways to get motivated, and find an edge every single night. And I actually learned that from Michael Jordan. He would talk about that when in Charlotte. That's what he did. He would find something that would get him motivated, whether it was a newspaper article, somebody said something last game, somebody in the crowd. He was going to find a way to use that as extra motivation. And anytime that you play a team that you were once a part of, and there's a lot of the same people there, you want to go away and you want to come back and you want to make a statement. And we didn't get to do that when we played them at home. Yeah. And so that doubled it. Malik and I talked about it. He goes, "We get the next one. We're getting the next one." Like,
you guys came in with that.
We came in with, we owe these guys. We owe these guys. We're mad. And then even after the game, we're happy that we won that game, but we're still mad that we lost them at home. So that's part of our drive and that's what this league is about. These guys who play, and I don't think it filters too far away from the coaches too. We're all competitive, competitive by nature. That's what this game is about, is out competing your opponent, and we want to win every time we step on the floor. That game had a little extra meaning.
Yeah, I could feel that watching that and calling that game. Coach, you've been around the league, obviously, coached the Raptors before, Team Canada. What's your best NBA memory? Do you have one, or one game, one moment where you say, you know what, man, it was nice to be a part of that?
I think most recently it was probably, I've been very lucky. I sat on the bench in the front row with the Raptors when Kobe had 81.
Ooh, you were there for that. Okay.
I was an assistant coach, unfortunately. So that's not a good memory, but it's a good memory.
Right,
you know what I mean? I saw Booker. I was on the bench in Phoenix when Booker scored 70. Wow. So I saw Kemba score 60. So I've seen a 60, 70, and an 80.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been part of that. But, there's something about the game last year against the Clippers that went into the overtime.
Yeah.
And both teams were just so efficient offensively. We couldn't stop each other, and it was just a matter of almost who had the ball last in that game, because they were on fire, we were on fire, and it was just a great game. And we came out on top, and it kind of just set the tone for the fact that we could play with anybody and we could really score with anybody.
Yeah, yeah. And, you bring up that Booker game. That was in Boston, right? I was there for that one. I used to work in Boston, so I was there for that. And then that Clippers game, the thing I remember most about it is they would get a 6 to 8 point lead, and our guys just kept fighting. It just we kept fighting back.
Yeah, we kept overcoming and kept coming back and back and back. And then obviously we made clutch shots down the stretch too. And it was just I think that was a big confidence booster for us, the fact that we can really score. And I think that kind of set the tone for the type of year we had offensively last year.
Right. All right, Coach, I'm going to end it on this. Second year with the Sacramento Kings. You're going to go down in history as part of the group that helped in the streak. When you go around the league right now, and I've noticed it, I'm in my 4th season with the Kings, it's a different feel when the Kings come to town. How does it feel to just be a part of what we're building here right now?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's true. Like what you said is true. It's like we were talking about it last week too. When Brooklyn came, Brooklyn was playing really well. When they came to Sacramento, we beat them, and then they had to play, I think, the Lakers, the Clippers, Golden State, Phoenix. Man, Sacramento used to be the one easy one.
Right, the one you could
go out west and you get an easy one. Now there's nothing easy, and I think that has filtered around the league. Our success last year, people now are looking at us and going, "Oh, geez, we better be ready. We better ready." Like there's no off nights anymore. There's no Patsy coming in here. We're gonna have to play, and it's fun being a part of that because just the belief that Mike has brought to our staff and the players, it has kind of transcended through the community in Sacramento, but also around the whole league. Everybody now looks at the Sacramento Kings a little bit differently than they used to.
What was your relationship with Mike before this job?
None really.
None really.
No.
Really?
Yeah. I had reached out after things had happened in Charlotte, where they let Coach Borrego go, and they wanted to keep me there. But Mike had talked to me about coming and running the offense, and he'd seen the offense that we ran. I had coached against him in 2015. He was an assistant coach with the Pan American Games team with the USA, and I was the head coach of the Canadian team.
Yeah.
We beat them in the semifinals to get to the gold medal game. But that was the only time we had really kind of connected outside of, hellos in the NBA every once in a while.
Okay. All right. Last question. I promise you.
Yeah, no worries.
You coach Team Canada. You see the job Jordy's done. What does it mean to you to have Team Canada where it is right now? A legit, gold medal contender in the upcoming Olympics.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's what we as Canadians and in the basketball community have dreamed of. The last time we went to the Olympics was in 2000 when I was a coach, and we had a really good run. We went 5-2 at those Olympic games, and it was. My whole goal was to try to get them back there again. So for the next couple of years, we tried to get back. And then, the toll of the NBA and the season and how long it is just kind of wears on you. So I ended up not doing it anymore. But to have Jordy do it, I mean, he's got questions for me of what it was like back then. And, I coached a lot of the guys that he's, it's a generation that's kind of moved on, like the Tristan Thompson, the Corey Joseph, and that. But there was still the young Kelly Olynyk and the Dwight Powells and the Melvin Edgems, the guys that are there. I was still coaching those guys for a long time on the national team, and this was my dream for them, was to be able to get back to the Olympic Games. And I'm happy that they get to go back, but I'm also, extremely happy that it's Jordy that's leading them.
Our guy Jordy. All right, Coach, appreciate it. Good luck out there tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Jay Triano and Kyle Draper will be right back here with the Drive guys, and we'll join Kyle in Philadelphia with a look at this. There's a team that is interested in Kevin Huerter, and that is no bull. Next, Drive guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? We can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore.
Great selection, great factory financing and incentive.
And great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper's in Philadelphia. Whitey Gleason here in our Sacramento studios. Great interview, Drapes, with Jay Triano. By the way, I have another one for you tonight because Kyle's got the play-by-play tonight on NBC Sports California. De'Aaron Fox, he shot that one from Scranton. What do you think? Does that work?
That's all right. I was going to do something a little different, but I was going to do actually from Camden. And trick people, Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
But it's close, right across the river, though. So, I was going to throw a little 52 fake out, but Scranton's not bad.
That's where the Office took place, right? That was all in it's Scranton. Yeah, I mean, Kyle's from Philadelphia, so I can't cross him up on this. By the way, it's funny because, we were just talking on the crossover about the 49ers and the coaches and what a great staff they have and how, they're likely to lose some guys. Well, that was a great interview you just did with Jay Triano. I mean, those guys, he and Jordy, are not going to be around forever, right? I mean, they're just, as coaches, they're just too good.
Yeah, I think especially Jordy, he's widely viewed as one of the best young minds in the game. Obviously coming from Denver, working under Mike Malone. He was up for that Atlanta Hawks job, didn't get that job. He's been up for other jobs as well, but it's just a matter of time. And I think, that's the price of success, right? The Niners are going to feel that also. Remember earlier this season, Steve Wilkes, everybody, Steve Wilkes. Now he's up for head coaching job. Like, that's what happens when you win, and that's what's happening with these Sacramento Kings also.
Yeah. So we turn our attention, if it's all right with you, Kyle, because, it's what everyone's talking about here, the deadline approaching within a month here, what the Kings may do. This I thought was interesting. You probably saw this. According to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, the Bulls have some interest in Kevin Huerter. It's funny because we always hear about Kevin Huerter would probably be thrown into this deal or that. But he says there had also been some Zach LaVine chatter a bit earlier. I had heard the 2 names that came up there during the trade conversations were Huerter and Barnes. From Chicago's side, there is a level of interest in Huerter for sure. To my understanding, they've done background intel on him, trying to figure out what's going on there and why he has struggled a little bit this year. He's a player that they've liked, in quotes. First time I've heard of anybody expressing interest in some of the guys that we know the Kings would be willing to move in a deal.
Yeah, especially because Huerter's not playing extremely well right now. The shot isn't falling. And, if I'm Monty McNair, if I'm the Kings, my ears perk up. Okay, maybe we do have more value than what's thought about, in the media and in the fan base. And so I would be kicking the tires on a guy like Zach LaVine, you know, especially because of the financial situation. I was afraid of that. But in terms of the actual player, I feel like you need another guy that can go out there and get you buckets when the offense breaks down. Keegan's starting to show that. We know De'Aaron can. I think Zach LaVine, and, you know, the knock was, he wasn't a winner. He's not a winner. Well, Chicago was winning when he was out. He's come back, and they're still winning. I think they're 3-0 with Zach LaVine back out there. And I think he still has a tremendous upside. Now, with that being said, Whitey, you may have to give up a lot. And so I don't know. That's why Monty McNair and Wes and those guys get paid the money they do, because it's one of those things, like, if you're Sacramento, you're building something, and I don't think Monty can afford to get this wrong, if you know what I mean. You can't bring in a big name, big contract, and it goes sour and it doesn't work out. Like, I don't know if the fan base could stand that right now. Like, you don't want to take a step back. And so you're in a precarious position, I think, if you're Monty McNair.
I wanted to back up to something you said in our first segment, because it's really interesting, and it's also counter to something that's getting a lot of run today. Not to be redundant, but for those who may have missed it, we have Zach Lowe today at ESPN.com saying, the Kings may not have interest in acquiring a big salary, which, okay, maybe not. But you have been told that may not be an issue for the Kings, correct?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody, and the same thing Zach Lowe is saying is the same thing I feared. Like, all right, we're talking all these big names, Pascal Siakam and all this, and you know, it's going to cost a lot of money. We know Domantas Sabonis, his contract extension is about to kick in next year. De'Aaron Fox is going to be due. So would we really be a luxury tax team? Are we really going to have, I don't want to say a blank check, but are we comfortable? And I was concerned about that, but I was told that this franchise wants to win and it will do whatever it takes to win. And as a fan and as part of a fan base, that's all you want to hear from you know, people in the know. It's like, you know what? If my team is committed to winning, that's great. You know, that's why I always say about the Yankees and Red Sox, all these big money spending teams, Celtics, Warriors. As a fan, I don't care about the cap. Go over the cap. I don't care about the luxury tax. Look at the Golden State Warriors, that tax bill that they're writing year in and year out. You're telling me you wouldn't trade what the Warriors have going for the last 9 years? Like, for sure, I would love to be the Warriors, and they paid for it, no doubt about it. But they went from a middle-of-the-pack franchise to a gold standard kind of franchise, and they had to pay for it, but ultimately it worked out in the end. And if I'm Sacramento and if I'm a fan, I want to hear that. Whatever it takes to win, because you'll get that back. Ownership would get that back in franchise value, merchandise. Like, can you imagine the Sacramento Kings all of a sudden being the darlings of the NBA? I think we would love that as Kings fans.
Yeah, we've taken steps in that direction, especially now with, you know, Domas is going to be on the Netflix series. But I wanted to just, again, underscore the fact that we don't know where Zach Lowe's getting his information from. And obviously he's a fine reporter. But you're getting your information, and it's none of our business who your source is, but you're getting that information from within the organization, right? That's not just something you heard at a coffee shop or something.
No, this isn't me hanging out in Midtown and Campio's brother, sister's cousin, or somebody, you know, Ray Allen's nephew's niece or something. Like, no, this was a concern of mine. Like, would this team be willing to spend? And I was told that, you know, they want to win. That's the thing. They want to win and put a winner on the floor, so that's encouraging to me.
Yeah, the Kings, of course, people have been around a while. Remember, the Kings, they extended an offer sheet to Zach LaVine years ago. Different regime, but Vivek was here. So a lot of people are thinking, and it makes sense to me, that the Bulls are really a team to keep an eye on here. They also have a number of pieces that could be available that could help you. I have for you here, Kyle. This is just from this is from Bulls Wire. Would you like to hear their 3-team deal that would involve the Bulls and Zach LaVine and the Kings?
Okay, let's
All right. Yeah. And again, this mock trade, no one is saying that this is being discussed. It's just one of these we'll have some fun with. Full outline of the mock trade. Kings get Zach LaVine. Warriors get Harrison Barnes, Alex Caruso. The Bulls get Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Huerter, and a 2026 first-round pick, lottery protected. Do anything for you? You lose Barnes. I'm not sure where the draft. I think you give up the draft pick too. I mean, Huerter, yeah, and Barnes, and you get Zach LaVine.
Well, first of all, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Why would Chicago do that? They're giving up Levine and Caruso. You said Caruso, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And what are they getting in return? I'm sorry.
They're getting Wiggins, your guy Wiggins. I think they've heard you talking about Wiggs, Herder, and a 2026 first-round pick.
It doesn't make sense to me. You know, this is why I hate this time of year, Whitey. This is ridiculous.
We're just
What
having
are we
fun.
doing out here?
I know. It's okay.
Bulls Wire. Who are they? They're fans. Come on now. They put that in the ESPN trade machine, and all of a sudden, this is the problem with social media. Somebody puts it out, Bulls Wire, and then it gains some traction, and it just, man, I shot down the Pascal Siakam deal a week ago. It was. I sat on there. I think it was a week ago.
It was, exactly.
Sat on there.
It was.
Exactly. And I'm going to shoot this one down.
Yeah.
It's silly season. This is why Doc Rivers called it silly season.
Yeah.
Because everybody and their mom got a trade package out there. Let's just play basketball. Let the guys handle it. It'll come out soon enough. I think sooner rather than later. Did you hear a bunch of guys can be traded on Monday, January 15th? And so I expect some movement around the league starting next week.
Yeah. Real quick, as far as Kevin Herter goes, and you know as well as I do, there have been a lot of fans, Kings fans, that have kind of soured on him, and we've heard a lot of things about him that are less than flattering as a basketball player. Here's the thing about Herter that would explain why the Bulls could have interest in him. Shooting in the NBA, it's kind of like pitching in baseball. In baseball, no matter who you are, you could always use more pitching.
Yep.
No matter how good you are, hey, we can always use more pitching. And shooting is similar in the NBA. No matter who you are, you can always use more shooting, especially in today's NBA. Kevin Herter struggling with his shot now, but if you're the Bulls or any team, the Kings, and you find a way for him to fix whatever's ailing him now, I mean, he's definitely an asset the way he shot the ball last year. He's a real asset as a shooter.
No, 100%. And let me ask you this then. And I'm just talking out here.
Yeah.
We're just talking amongst friends.
Yes.
Are we ready to write off Kevin Herter? Is that what's happening? Because we're talking about, and let me ask you this, Whitey, and I'm posing this one to you. You're talking about Kevin Herter on the Bulls, and maybe he could regain things. Why can't that we Andrew Wiggins regain things with Sacramento?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's my point. Like, I'm not ready to give up on Kevin Herter. I still remember last year's Kevin Herter and how big he was. And I'm not 100% sure the organization is ready to give up on Kevin Herter. You know, he needs to start making shots. No doubt about it.
That's
100%. But if we're talking him going to the Bulls and they're thinking maybe he can regain form, how come we can't say maybe he'll regain form?
I know. If he could shoot like he did last year, which is a tall order because he shot the ball at a higher percentage from the three-point line than he had at any point in his career. But if you could have that Kevin Herter back, you don't necessarily need to add as much as you thought. But yeah, I mean, who knows what's going on? He's just not knocking down those shots close to what he did last year, and it started in the playoffs. We all know that. But yeah, I'm not ready to give up on him, but he's got to just start making shots.
He got to start making shots. And we know it's not happening tonight. He's out tonight. Fully expect Chris Duarte to get the start again tonight as the Kings take on Philly. But, man, what are we, 3 weeks away from the trade deadline? Is it something
Just
like
about.
that?
Just about. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think there's going to be tons of movement. I mean, you look at every team in the NBA, they need something. Even Boston, as great as they are, they're looking for more wing depth. And so I think it's going to be a wild trade deadline this year.
Doesn't that impact the Kings' thinking? I mean, in a vacuum, you can say, this is our roster. This is what's available to us. Maybe it doesn't help us that much. We'll stand pat. But you can't view it that way. What are the other teams doing as well, right? So if everyone else is getting active, that may spur you. You may have to take a little more of a chance in the trade market than you were willing to because you can't see these other teams in the West passing you by making moves.
Well, that's the question, though. If you're a Kings fan, Whitey, and I'll pose this one to you. Since everybody, it's sort of like the housing market. Everybody's looking to buy.
Right.
Well, then the prices are up.
Right.
Are you comfortable if the Kings just sit back, stand pat, don't do anything, don't go for it this year? Or would that be disastrous? Would you be upset with that?
It depends who else buys, right? We were talking yesterday, Kyle, and I know you joined us a little bit, but yesterday the Pelicans scare me, and they're behind you right now. Yeah. And obviously they played great here Sunday, and then they demolished the Warriors night before last. they scare me. And the Clippers are playing well. And we don't have to run down the list again. Everyone knows who's in the West and how well they're playing. So that changes the equation for me. If some of those teams make moves and you're the Kings and you're serious about this year, you may have to do something, even if you're not totally comfortable with it at the time.
So, and I hear that, but I'm of the belief that if you don't feel like you can make a move that puts you over the top now, maybe you wait till the offseason.
Yeah.
Maybe you wait until there aren't as many, the housing market cools off a little bit, the rates go down or something like that. I don't know. What do you?
No, I understand.
It's like, because if you have a lot of competition, to your point, you may have to overpay.
Yeah.
You may have to give up a couple of first-round picks that maybe you didn't want to, or something like that. And if you do make that move, are you even guaranteed to go deeper than what you want? You're not. And so it's a tough thing to juggle right now.
Yeah. If I had to guess, and I'm not saying this is what I think they should do, but it seems to me if they're going to do something, there's a really good chance it's going to be with the Bulls, Kyle. Am I missing something?
Is that your radar? Yeah, I mean, it makes it. I got two teams to keep an eye on. I think the Bulls, and I also think the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned Jeremy Grant a little bit ago, and
yeah,
I let that go. We talked about him, and I thought we were done with him. That's interesting that you bring him up again.
Yeah, I think Portland has three players that could help us right now. Jeremy Grant is one, Matisse Thybulle, and Malcolm Brogdon. Like, I would take any of those three guys. Obviously, the price is going to be different for all of them. But I think you look at those two teams, Chicago, of course, and what they have, Zach LaVine. But also, I think Portland, it would behoove them and be in their best interest to make some sort of move. Sort of like Oklahoma City did. Stockpile some draft picks. Malcolm Brogdon is not going to be part of their championship run. But Malcolm Brogdon could be a good player on this Sacramento Kings team. Matisse Thybulle isn't going to be there when it's time to win a championship and compete for a playoffs to the Portland Trailblazers. He's not going to be there, but he can help the Kings. We know what Jeremy Grant can do as well. And so I think keep an eye on Portland. If I'm Sacramento, I'm on the phone with Portland, and I'm trying to see what it would cost to get one of those three guys.
Yeah, if you had Malcolm Brogdon and Harrison Barnes, I know you may have to part with Barnes to get him, but if you had them both, I don't know what kind of tandem they'd be on the floor. Probably pretty good, but I mean, I would vote for them. If that was a presidential ticket, I'd be all in on those two guys, right? That would be
100%, man. We'd win the media award every year. Those guys, they answered.
Yeah. Speaking of the media, I'm not sure whether you saw this. De'Aaron Fox did a little interview with NBA.com.
Saw that.
Yeah, interesting. He mentions the opposing player you would credit for making you a better player because of the way they defended you. Drew Holiday was the guy that De'Aaron mentioned. The guy who guards him, gives him those problems defensively, Jaden McDaniels.
Yep.
Yeah. So some interesting thoughts here. Also, is there something about your son, about you, that you hope your son does not inherit? And he said, yeah, my stubbornness, but he's already got that. So
that's awesome. That was a good interview. I saw it and I read it today. And, another example of our guy getting some love. Like, I went to the NBA.com page, and I think it was right there on the homepage as well, And so, no, it's great. It's great. And, man, I want to see, if you look at De'Aaron Fox, he's playing great defensively, but his offensive numbers are down in a big way over his last 4 games. I think 17 points per game. It would be nice to see him. I don't know if this is on your wish list or not, Whitey. Let's De'Aaron Fox come out there and drop a 35-piece tonight in a runaway win against the Sixers.
Yeah. By the way, Manny Too Legit is wondering where he can see the interview. It actually is just a print interview, Manny, that De'Aaron Fox did with NBA.com. It's really interesting, but you can't actually see it. To your point, yes, that is one of my wishes, but I had him lumped in with Domas, that the two of them show these idiotic all-star voters that they're totally missing the boat on these two Sacramento Kings.
100% missing the boat. And the fact that the Kings are winning, that's what's so upsetting. You got other teams out there. We were down in Charlotte the other day, and I'm looking up at their Jumbotron, and they had vote for pretty much their whole team for all-star. And I'm like, what are they thinking? Like, no offense, Charlotte.
Right.
Like, but our guys are actually on a winning team and producing. So, like, we can cap for them. We can, put on our capes and say, vote for our guys.
Yeah. You remember when, let's see, with the day of the draft, when when they drafted Miller, and then it looked like their mascot was like, remember, like holding his head. And apparently that wasn't what happened. He was on a railing and he got down, but it looked like the next day, like he was so disappointed that that's who they drafted. It's just great that the Kings are not one of those will-be-gone franchises anymore, because they were that for a long freaking time.
Yeah, they were. And I want to bring up something, because I'm following the text line here. Because we talked about Monty and can they stand pat. Somebody said, can Monty really afford to stand pat for a second trade deadline?
Good question.
That's a great question, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he can from a fan base perspective. Like, based on what I'm feeling from the fan base, Whitey, people want some fireworks.
You're right.
They want some moves. They want something done right now.
Right. That would be a tough sell. But the way the team, if they continue to play better, maybe you can pull that off. The defense is better. Do you think Mike Brown's on the money when he said after the last game, he said, we're turning a corner, knock on wood? He seemed to think the Kings may have found something. Now they just played two teams that aren't very good. Yeah. How accurate do you think that is? How close are the Kings to turning that corner?
I think it sort of reminds me of last year and that run we went on where it finally clicked and they really found out, what coach is preaching actually works. I think tonight, you talk to me tomorrow, Whitey. Text me tomorrow.
All right.
If they come out and blast this Sixers team, I will say they have turned the corner. Yes.
All right. Here's Keegan from Reading, Pennsylvania. What a shot. Great job. Have a great call tonight, Kyle. We will have a great holiday. We will talk to you again on Tuesday. Thank you for being with us. Stick around. Game night is next as we get you ready for the Kings and the Sixers right here on Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0 down with approved credit.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's the new year, so the big question is, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
We're keeping our traditions alive by continuing to offer the best savings on remaining new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs. Right now, you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP, and even better yet, you don't have to make a payment for 90 days.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal. $12,000 off MSRP on one of America's favorite trucks.
That's the difference between Hoblet and so many others. We are here to help you get the truck you need at the best possible price, and you won't find a better selection of new Rams with over 500 trucks available. At Hoblet, we want you to be a customer for life.
See our full inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 12,000 total net savings after $6,841 factory rebates and $5,159 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 1,000 case equipment bonus cash. Must have purchased new case equipment from qualifying dealer. No payment for 90 days through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. 10th of this net savings. See dealer for details.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
It's time for game night. Getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball. Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good afternoon to you. Welcome into game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. The Kings are flying high on this East Coast road trip, 2-0. As they head into Philly today, looking to make it a winning road trip against the 76ers, who will be without Joel Embiid. We'll break it all down over the next hour. Henry and I will be with you until 4 o'clock today, getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. It's a 4:30 tip. G-Man with the call. This game's also on national TV today. It'll be on ESPN. So the nation will get to see the Kings, who are 23-14. They're 10-7 away from home. And everything that we were feeling after the New Orleans game, the first quarter in Detroit, I'm not saying it's gone away by any means, okay? But it certainly feels better on Friday than it did on Monday after the first quarter in Detroit.
You know, Scooter, whenever you get a couple of wins, things feel just a little bit better.
Yes, they do.
But overall, we've been talking about this. We've been tossing it around, throwing it around. Overall, the Kings are playing better.
Yes.
But on the inside, we still see the holes. We still see the negative things of this team. I think that's why our roller coaster ride is probably more severe than the regular people that's just watching the Kings playing. You know, everybody outside of Sacramento is like, you know, the Kings are playing great.
Yeah.
But we get to see exactly what's going on a daily basis.
Yeah. And you know, the question is the nation really watching the Kings by the all-star voting? Not so sure. We'll talk about that as well with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, amazingly so far down in the polling right now for the All-Stars. But have you ever seen the movie Parenthood with Steve Martin?
Of course.
Okay, it's a classic, right?
Yes.
It talks about the roller coasters. Do you like the roller coasters in life, right? And
right.
He never did, but by the end of the movie, he learned to, because that's what it's all about. The Kings have been a little bit of a roller coaster. The trend has been good, but the fact that we're on the ride, the fact that we're having discussions about how this team can get better, where they need to improve. I mean, in 2024, as we're in a new year, like, boy, what a different feeling than just 2 years ago, right?
Oh, no, no doubt.
I
mean, Scott, think about it.
Yes.
We've been doing this job a very long time.
Yes.
And, it's been a lot of years at this time. We're like, oh, well.
Season's over. We're almost into lottery.
Wait. Who's coming up in the draft?
Yes.
And,
yes.
We have definitely had some thin seasons. Yes. But, it's great to be able to talk about, this team post play, where you're going to be, how you're going to be able to, solidify yourself. Well, where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the top 3? Do you want to be in the bottom half?
Yeah.
All of this talk for us is great right now.
No question about that whatsoever. And did you hear, by the way, you mentioned the lottery. They're going to make that a 2-day event. They're trying to go to an NFL format. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. If you want to join us, you can at 916-339-1140. We would love to hear from you on a Friday afternoon. And of course, we're up and running in the Sactown chat room on YouTube as well. Sactown 1140. There's some great conversation amongst the people watching. And of course, we'll be talking in there specifically during the breaks as well. All right. So the Kings win in Charlotte. They avenged the loss at home just the week prior, 123-98. The Kings' big three playing well. Sabonis, again, 24 points, 10 rebounds. His 33rd double-double of the year. It leads the NBA. His 20th consecutive double-double. It's his second 20-plus consecutive double-double streak in Sacramento, tying only the great Oscar Robertson. And you and I, we say the record books, when they apply to the NBA, it's about Wilt Chamberlain. When it applies to the Kings history, it's all about the Big O.
It's always the Big O.
So great company for Sabonis, and what he's been doing has been pretty remarkable.
And Scott, the crazy thing is that you just alluded to it a little bit early on in the show, but this dude just had 8 triple doubles out of 12, 13 games?
Yeah, I believe it's 7 and 13.
And you mean to tell me that you really have to look for his name in all-star voting? That's crazy. That's nuts. I mean, you're talking about stats that no other player has put down, and this guy's name is deep on the all-star on the all-star vote. I don't understand that.
I don't understand.
It's bewildering to me.
Yeah, it is just outright ridiculous. And we'll get into the all-star balloting in just a moment. Obviously, Keegan is having a very good road trip so far, over 30 points in Detroit, backed it up with a 25-point effort against Charlotte. And the way he's doing it, again, it's not just all 3-point shots. We saw him, of course, have that unbelievable 3-point shooting night, historic night earlier in the year. But the well-rounded game of Keegan Murray just continues to grow and grow.
Scott, this guy is a sophomore player. I want everybody to understand this. He only has 1 year in the league. This is his second year. And this dude is still playing good basketball. It's been ups and downs. You hit that as a sophomore player. Usually sophomore players hit the wall and they really struggle because, they're trying to do bigger and better things and they just don't let the game come to him. Keegan Murray has stepped it up on the defensive side. He guards pretty much the number one offensive option for the other team. And now he's starting to get his offense to come around. Last year he was strictly catch and shoot 3. That's what Keegan did. This year he's still catch and shoot, but he's figuring out that, okay, they're pushing up on me a little tough, making it hard for me to make this 3-point shot. Now let me put the ball on the ground. And he's able to get to the basket. He's able to score at the basket. And if need be, he stops at the free throw line and give a little shimmy shake and pull up with a little fadeaway. So I like what I'm seeing out of Keegan.
I love what I'm seeing out of Keegan. And if you look at what he's been doing in December and January versus the first 2 months, you'll see the progress. So his minutes are about the same. He's averaged 33 minutes consistently the whole year. His points first 2 months were around 13 a game. He's up to almost 18 since December. His field goal shooting percentage in the first 2 months of October and November was right below 40%, hovering at 39. He's over 50% since December 1st. 3-point field goal percentage was under 30% in 2023, or excuse me, in October, November 2023. Since December in January of this year, over 40% at 43%, and the 3-point usage is down. The percentage is up, the usage is down, the field goal shooting is up, points are up. I mean, it just shows you the trend line is just absolutely skyrocketing in the right direction.
You know, Scott, it just shows that he's starting to get comfortable in what he's doing. You know, early on, the mindset was defense, defense, defense. That's where he was putting most of his concentration to. Understandable. That's what Coach Mike is asking of him. He wants him to be that guy. He sees that, you know, Keegan Murray has guarded everybody, Scott, from 1 all the way down to the 5. So to have that type of guy on your team, and he's just learning, he's going to get better and better. His IQ on the defensive side, I mean, it's going to be through the roof because every year you learn something. So for Coach Brown to be able to, you know, start molding him this early to start ramping up his defense, his offense struggled a little bit, but he's starting to figure it out. Yeah. And once he gets it all together, Keegan Murray is going to be a monster.
There's no doubt that he is trending in that direction. As we talked about at the beginning of the year, some of the scouts and talking about that year 1 to year 2 progress, I think we're starting to see what they were talking about. As for De'Aaron Fox, again, the numbers are down a little bit. Certainly had a couple big threes that kind of pushed that lead at the end of the quarter in Charlotte. 19 points for him. His assists a little bit down too, but it feels like his energy level has gotten better than it was last week.
Yeah, because I honestly think that, you know, De'Aaron had hit a wall a little bit because, you know, I mean, the dude had just been playing lights out. He was averaging 30 points a game, Scott, you know, and, you know, playing on both sides, on the defensive side and, you know, being big on the offensive side, running this basketball team. So, you know, it's going to be a little spurt to where, you know, you fall off, you have a couple of lull games. Every all-star, every big-time player has that. But, you know, now it seems like he's starting to bounce back and starting to get back to old De'Aaron Fox. At the end of the day, team is still winning. The team is still playing better than what they played last year. So I know De'Aaron pretty much isn't worried about his own personal stats. As long as the team keep winning, they all win.
No doubt. The Kings have won 6 of their last 8 games. Fox now averaging 28 points a game, 27.9 rounding up. He was over 30 before his last 6-game stretch. In the last 6, it's 19.5. But, you know, again, I think maybe hit a little lull. Everybody does. Seems like he may be coming out of that. All right, so we've talked about the big 3. Obviously, we got to start thinking whether it's a big 4 in Sacramento with Malik Monk coming off the bench as well. He had another 20-point game for the Kings in Charlotte. Mike Brown afterwards talking about Malik, and we know how much Coach loves Malik. His quote was, we had a lot of guys step up. Malik continues to be big for us off the bench. You can go to him to score. You can go to him to facilitate. Malik's continuing to lay his stake for 6th man of the year with these 2 back-to-back 20-point games.
You know, my question is, Scott, seeing that this team is still searching for some consistency at the 2 spot.
Yep, and of course, some Herder.
Some consistency at the 3 spot. If and when are they going to slide Malik into that starting position to where you don't have to worry about what you're getting out of your starting 5, you know, and then have to worry about what's coming off the bench instead of saying, okay, well, we got down 20, but maybe our bench can bring us back. Maybe put Malik in the starting lineup. You don't go down 20 because, you know, you have another guy, you said it yourself, who can facilitate. You have another guy who can score. You know, you have another guy. I honestly think that Malik Monk takes so much pressure off of De'Aaron Fox. Now D Fox don't have to be that guy. D Fox can play off the ball and the offense still goes. You know, I think he brings so much more positive things to the floor. But then again, I understand where Mike is going with this too, because Mike understands If you move Malik into that starting lineup, you might not have anything coming off your bench.
Exactly. It could be a big goose egg. All our press conference coverage brought to you by Folsom Lake Honda. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Another huge thing in the winning in Charlotte, points in the paint. The Kings had 62 of them. They were 31 of 46 inside the lane. The Hornets, only 28, 14 of 37.
I like that the Kings just aren't electing to stand outside and shoot threes. Scott, we know this team can do that. We know this team can shoot at a very high clip. But what are you going to do on the nights to where that isn't there? You have to be able to have a yin to your yang. And that's being able to get downhill, attack the rim, and score. Some nights, it's just going to be that. You have a monster down in the middle in Sabonis. Some nights you go, big fella, we riding you. We're going to jump on your back. Let's go. That's how you become a very dangerous team. You have the outside advantage. Then all of a sudden, you start having that inside presence to where you can score 50, 60 points at the rim. Now let's pick your poison. Okay, you guys want to push up? We'll score on the inside. Okay, now you guys are going to double team the inside. Guess what, fellas? We lighten it up from 3. Let's go.
Yep, no doubt. It is great with the Kings, and Sabonis particularly was so dominant against Charlotte. All right, the points in the paint, the look back at that brought to you by RT Painting, your reliable and trusted painter in the Sacramento market since 1998. Game night's underway from the Sactown 1140 studios. When we come back, we're going to go through the all-star voting up to this point. We'll try to keep our cool. We'll also talk about Philly. The Kings have struggled. It's not been a city of brotherly love for the Kings. They have not won there since 2017. They're only 2-7 they have not beaten them in their last 9 tries. So Kings trying to get that all done. Of course, no Joel Embiid tonight. We'll focus in on that. We're going to take the break. We'll stay on in the YouTube chat for people there. This is Game Night right here. Sactown Sports 1140.
All righty. We are clear. We're live on YouTube. Hello, everybody.
All right, Kyle.
Yeah?
Henry, you have to move over just for a second so people can see, Kyle. You are eclipsing.
Okay,
Kyle.
hold on.
Here, I'm moving into the camera shot here.
Okay.
Henry, you're fine. I'll move into the camera shot so
all right. So
people can see me.
So Kyle, he's like a guy who, just is at the table. Maybe he's won 4 or 5 in a row, and he just keeps rolling the dice. He has the audacity to wear all his Detroit stuff the other night.
Well, that's misleading now.
It's the truth also. How is it misleading?
Continue, because
and now you've got your Philly cap going on.
Yeah. The Philadelphia Phillies hat.
Yes, you're representing Philadelphia.
The Kings are playing in Philadelphia.
Yes.
So there's no better time to wear the Philadelphia Philly hat. It's the only time during the season they're going to be in Philadelphia.
There is no other sports fan in America who sees it the same way as you do, Kyle. There's not one other person.
I'm about to say this. How about would you like to receive one of them Rocky Balboa uppercuts?
My friend Manny in the chat understands. Manny's the only one who understands me.
Well, hey, let Manny know I got 2 uppercuts. He can get one too.
This is the only time of the year they're going to Philadelphia. We might as well.
And we need a GoFundMe for Kyle so he can get Peacock to watch the Chiefs game.
Well, I will be listening right here on Sactown Sports because I'll be the one running board for the game on the station.
Good. That's good. You can listen to it right here, of course. And speaking of Manny in our chat, he writes in, and we appreciate you, Manny, for being in. Sky High Flyer and Kyle, I asked this question yesterday on the Drive Guys show yesterday, but wanted to ask you guys too. What seed do you think will be at the end of the season at this rate? Currently, the Kings are in 5th place, but they're climbing. They're 1 game back of the Clips. They're only 3 games back of Minnesota and Oklahoma City, who are now in a tie.
If I don't know exactly where we'll be, I know where I will be comfortable with this basketball team.
Okay.
I said this at the beginning of the year, Scott. I'm very comfortable if the Kings are anywhere 1 through 6, long as they get straight into the playoffs. I don't want this basketball team to have to go through the play-in to get here.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they did last year and how they're playing this year, they've definitely shown that they are a playoff team, a legitimate playoff team, not to where, some things have to happen. Some things have to roll your way. Some teams have to, help you out. I want this basketball team to take control of their own destiny and be able to say our own play got us straight into the playoffs.
Yep. I like that. And that's a good way to look at it. Absolutely.
I would say somewhere between 5 and 7 to answer Manny's question. Maybe 8.
You think that's where they're going to finish?
No, at the current pace they're going on, because I don't think any team, Rockets, Lakers, Jazz, or Warriors, is going to go on a dramatic run. So maybe the Pelicans, Mavericks, and Suns could.
I think they're going to move up, not down.
But that's the lowest range. Here, we're coming back real
fair
quick.
enough.
The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Welcome back into game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the high flyer, Henry Turner. We'll get into the All-Star balloting in just a moment. And again, lots of questions to be asked about that. But just one other follow-up on Sabonis. We talked about the streak of double-doubles and all of that and the record with the Big O. It was also, as we know, a 35-point double-double for him, or a triple-double the last time he came out and had that triple-double on Monday night in Detroit. The only other players who got that for the Kings in their Kings franchise history, you played with one of them. Mitch Richmond had a 35-point triple-double. The Big O. And I don't know Jack Twyman's game. But
wow. Big Jack.
Yeah. So there you go. Another great stat for Sabonis.
So wait, you said Mitch, Jack, and who else?
In the Big O.
All those jerseys up in the rafters.
Yep.
So he's in good company.
No doubt. If Sabonis keeps playing like this, we're going to see
of course
his jersey up there as well.
No doubt.
Game night brought to you by Power Business Technology. Experience how the Power of Family can help your business office equipment needs today. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or go to powercopiers.com. If you want to join us, you can call in 916-339-1140. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be on until 4 o'clock today, getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. Tip again is at 4:30 tonight. All right. Second round of balloting has been released. Updated numbers in the All-Star vote. As we said, the top 10. Yeah,
these are just votes.
Yes.
And these are for fans.
Fan returns. So, and again, of course, it's by position, right? Which is another thing you can debate. Why do we have to have positions still and all of that? But in the front court right now, this is where it stands. Okay. Number 1, LeBron, far ahead of way. He's got over 3 million votes. Can't really argue with that. LeBron's having a great year. The Joker, number 2, 2.7 million. Okay. KD is third at 2.7 million.
Right.
I can't really argue with that either. AD is fourth, 1.5 million, give or take. He is playing much better since the
but he stunk the whole first half of the season.
Yeah, he's had some off nights. He has not had the consistency of Sabonis. Okay. Kawhi Leonard, number 5, just over 1 million.
Clips are playing better.
They are. Alperen Sengun is number 6, 950,000 votes.
Now.
He's a fine young player, but you cannot tell me he deserves more votes than Sabonis.
He's a great young player. But you mean to tell me that he got more votes than Sabonis? Man, that's a travesty right there.
Yep. Okay. 7th place, Paul George, sitting at about 640,000.
I like PG.
Okay. Victor Wembanyama, 8th, 425,000 votes.
He's the freak. Okay.
Yep. Chet Holmgren, 9, 329,000.
That's another travesty right there. Sabonis is playing better than both of them.
Yeah. Now, I will say, at least in the case of OKC, they have a record that could justify having.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. For Shea.
And what I meant was, if I had to choose between Wemby and Chet, I would give Chet the advantage.
For Shea.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it. Yes. And rounding at the top 10 is the big cat, Karl Anthony Towns, 240,000. He's on the winning team.
And they're number 1. I understand.
Okay. But that just shows you that, Sabonis hasn't even tallied over 240,000 votes at this point. So,
and you know what? A lot of that is on Sacramento because you got to get out and vote.
Yeah.
The reason why the kid in Houston is over Sabonis is because the people in Houston are voting. they're getting out and they're voting for that player. I'm not trying to hear nobody that's in the league is looking at Şengün over Sabonis. No way, no how. That's strictly voting. So Sacramento, if you want your guys to be in there, you got to go vote.
Okay, and I can buy that. There might be voting in the Eastern Conference that might make you think a little differently about that, but we'll see. Okay, guards, Luka, number 1, $2.5 million. No problem with that. He's having an MVP season. Steph Curry, number 2 at $2.1 million. Steph is Steph, but Steph is Steph, right?
True,
he's always earning it. SGA is number 3, $1.7 million.
He jumped up from last year.
Yep, and he's deserving, but he's also in a very small market. But okay, 1.7 mil. James Harden for it falls all the way down to 610,000 at that point.
You know what? Don't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it.
Don't deserve it at all.
Yep. Kyrie Irving, 545,000. He's been injured so much. I don't think he's deserving either.
Okay.
Of that.
I'll roll with Kyrie before I roll with James Harden.
Okay. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, 6, totally deserving. John Morant, who obviously won't matter at this point, number 7 at 445,000. And then you have De'Aaron Fox slipping in at 8, 393,000.
Okay.
He's above Devin Booker, so at least there's that.
Okay, right.
321,000. And then Klay Thompson is getting 260,000 votes. So
who?
Exactly. He should not have a single vote right now.
You know what? Klay might be coming off the bench for Golden State right now.
Yeah.
How do you have him that high up? But once again, we understand it's fan votes.
Of course it is. Now, here's the thing that, to me kind of stood out. Okay, Sabonis and De'Aaron are not getting the love they deserve, right? Whether it's not enough local votes or just maybe the national scene, Sacramento is still just not a big enough story. I don't know what the case may be. I can't break that down. But if you look at the East guards right now, what really stood out to me, kind of surprised me, and not because he's not deserving, because he certainly is. You know who's leading by a large margin?
Probably Trey.
East? No, he's second, but there's one person above him who has over 700,000 more votes.
Dame Lillard.
No.
Whoa. Really?
Lillard is third, which is just right behind Trey.
Okay. Halliburton,
yes. Okay, now, the thing about Tyrese, he's in Indiana. He's in a small market, okay?
But you wouldn't think that Indiana was a small market, though, how much love that Indiana gets.
Okay. Is Indiana getting more love this year than the Kings got last year?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Because of Reese.
Okay.
I tell you what, they got just as much love last year as Sacramento got.
Okay.
They were pretty much even. And honestly, I think at the beginning of the year, they gave Indiana a lot more love than what they gave Sacramento.
Okay. But I mean, that's the thing that stood out to me. It's like, okay, De'Aaron and Domas can't get near a starting ballot role. And Tyrese is leading all the guards right now.
Bro, they were talking about, before Reese got hurt, they were talking about putting him on the MVP list.
No, I understand that. But
wait, and here's how crazy that get. De'Aaron Fox was walking through the West.
That's my point.
And couldn't get on it.
That's my point. All right, let's take some calls. Let's see what our fans think out there. Let's go to Edward first. Welcome into Game Night. How are you, my friend?
Hi, guys. As you know, I stand for two things with the Kings.
Yes.
One is stand pat, don't do anything this season.
Okay.
And two is sign Valanciunas in the offseason.
Sign who?
Valanciunas? Is that what you said?
Valanciunas, son of a
Oh, okay.
I'd be all for that if we could get him. Absolutely. That'd be a great sighting.
He's very underpaid at the moment, and his contract's expired, and he plays with Sabonis, and De'Aaron brought in Malik.
Yes.
So.
No, I would love to have him, and he's a Kings killer, too. That's a great call. Edward, thank you very much. All right, let's go to Steven. Steven, welcome into Game Night. How are you?
I am very well, and I know you guys are doing great. Again, you guys have the greatest job in the world. So hope you guys.
No argument there,
guys are doing great.
No
man.
argument.
Hey, okay, so that's kind of funny. I have a question that kind of like opposes the previous caller.
Okay.
Can Monty McNair really afford to stand pat for a second year in a row? Because I feel like there was a lot more options that were on the table in the free agent market last year, like maybe Jared Vanderbilt, being one of them. I know we were very interested. At least Kings fans were extremely interested in him. I don't know about the front office, but I mean, Monty stood pat last year, and it's looking very like he's about to stand pat this year. Can he really afford to stand pat? Do you really think he has enough clout and enough judgment to kind of make that move?
Steven, first of all, appreciate the call. Thank you very much for that. I will just say this. We're at January 12th right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The trade deadline's in February. We have no idea if Monty McNair is quote unquote standing pat. So, it may seem because we're not hearing much noise, but Monty's not a guy who is very vocal when it comes to talking about his strategy with the Sacramento Kings.
When you start talking about making changes for this team, it's tough to go out and just make a move just for the sake of making a move, because the team is playing better than they did last year. So they stood pat last year.
Yeah.
And broke a 16-year record.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Didn't really bring too many different. They brought some pieces in.
Sure.
They brought some pieces in, but the Herculean one didn't come down the pipe.
No.
So now this year, you're playing better than what you did last year. So if you stand pat, you can say, okay, well, we're still, going upwardly. We're upwardly mobile.
Yep.
It's hard to make a decision like that because your camaraderie is so volatile.
Yes.
It's so volatile, Scott. It's like, if you remove one major piece off of that roster, it could make almost everything else crumble around.
No question. And again, you sound just like Mike Brown. You guys think alike. I know Mike Brown talked about how great the chemistry has been. He talked about it recently. We'll see if we can find that quote for you. Kyle may have it on the other side, the Mike Brown quote about how good the chemistry is on this team. We'll look for it as we go to the break. Game night, when we come back, we will look at the Sixers. We'll go around the league as well, get you caught up on all the other news and notes. We'll get to your phone calls as well. Tin, hang on. We'll get to you. 916-339-1140 if you want to call in. Game night brought to you by National Garage Door. Call today for your basketball special, 916-638-4554. More of Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
All righty. We are live on YouTube.
Kyle, I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I know Mike Brown spoke this week, and he was really talking about how much the team is together, how connected they are. It was just kind of one of those quotes that just kind of, I think, talked about what Henry talks about is why the Kings are reluctant to make a move, because they know this group gets along so well.
Yeah, it's this group is about as connected as any group that I've been with.
Let's play that when we get back.
Cool. We played it on Styles and Watkins, so I know it was a Twitter clip.
And you know what, Scott? I will say this, and I'll go on record saying this. Just say, for example, if the Kings get rid of Malik Monk, because see, he's the guy. Because they're not moving De'Aaron, they're not moving Sabonis. And I think Keegan's untouchable.
Yeah.
So the next entity that you can say, okay, well, if a good player comes up, believe me, it's going to have to involve Malik Monk.
And interesting with Monk is obviously he's got an expiring contract.
Exactly. So it's going to have to involve Malik Monk. But if you remove Malik Monk off of this team, you are losing a lot.
You could make an argument you're losing your MVP of the team.
Not just a good player, but you have to understand what he means to other guys. Number one, he means a lot to De'Aaron.
Yep.
Your number one guy. All right. Number two, he means a lot to Sabonis. Your number two guy. All right. And then your guys coming off the bench, like Lyles, like the big fella in McGee and Lynn. He gets all of those guys involved. So if you remove him, man, that's going to be tough to come back from.
Sabonis took a pay cut for Malik. What's going to happen if they ship Malik out the door? I'm not sure how that conversation's going to go with the front office.
Honestly, I think Malik is untouchable. I really do, because he brings too much. Like I said, he He really okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You finished what you were going to say.
No, I'm saying he affects your number 1 and number 2 guy. So how could you get rid of him?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is because what is Malik going to be worth in the market at the end of the year, right? And if you're looking at it, obviously you're going to have to pay Keegan. You've already got 2 max contracts. If De'Aaron gets all NBA again, you're going to sign him to a 4-year, $260 million contract, right? So can you afford Malik Monk? Does that go into the equation at all in how you look at the trade deadline?
At the end of the day, Scott, this team is trying to chase a championship.
Yep.
I don't know one team that have chased a championship and pinched pennies at the same time. I'm sorry. You're going to have to pay these guys.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay them. If you want this type of a roster and want to say we're fighting for a championship, you got to get up off that money.
Especially because Malik Monk has been one of the best value free agent signings of the last 2 years in the NBA. I mean, the contract that they got him at was incredible for the production that he's given.
No question. And now he's going to get it back on the other end.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to get it back.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, and this is his big contract to cash out on.
Kyle, for Sunday, you're with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do a poll question about whether Malik Monk should start or not.
Okay.
I'll throw that in our chat room for the next one.
I'll keep it in the back of my mind for Sunday.
That. Tuck it underneath the Philly hat.
Yeah. Who are we playing on
We
Sunday?
got Milwaukee. So when you've got your Laverne and Shirley
I can find a Brewer's hat. I think I have one in there somewhere.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. We still got 30 seconds here.
Okay. Anything else in the chat?
I mean, some Kevin Huerter talk, which, I think we've worn through the Kevin Huerter topic at this point. There's a report today that the Bulls are like trying to figure out what's wrong with him because they're interested in trying to build him up as a reclamation project. But
is Kevin Huerter a reclamation project?
I don't know. They're just trying to figure out what's wrong.
I mean, you used that word, reclamation project. I don't
know.
Yeah,
that probably is not that dramatic, but who knows? We'll see.
Certainly been an off year.
Here, they're right off of I-5, or of course, you can always go online at mbfstockton.com.
Welcome back in the game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the High Flyer, Henry Turner. We're with you until 4 o'clock today. Kings Live pregame. 4:30 tip, Kings and Sixers. The Kings are 2-0 on this trip. They got a chance to get their 3rd win on a 5-game trip. That would be the standard for a great road trip. Obviously, these last 3 games are going to be tougher.
It's going to be tough, but things are kind of lining up for the Kings once again. If it's ever a chance for you to go in there and get a win in Philly, you just said it. It's been tough to go in there and win against Philly, but their number 1 guy, the head of the snake, the engine, the muscle, the tussle, everything that makes Philly go is going to be on the sideline.
No doubt. And they've struggled without him.
Of course. He's everything for their team.
They're 2-7 without him. They're 21-6 with him.
He's everything for that team. So if it was ever a perfect line up the stars night for the Kings to go in there and take one, it's right now.
Agreed. All right. We'll go around the league, but first, Tim, you've been waiting patiently to join us on game night. So let's get to you first. How are you, my friend, today?
I'm good, Scott. How are you guys?
We're great. What's going on?
Great. All right. So forget kill 2 birds with 1 stone. How about help 2 birds with 1 stone? This is what I mean. Tyrese Halliburton, hopefully he's, healthy so he can make the All-Star game.
Yep.
But first of all, Tyrese Halliburton. The reason why he's so successful in Indiana is because he got shipped off with Buddy Hield. It's like going on a road trip with a buddy. Yeah, no pun intended. But, if you're going by yourself, okay, you got to get used to the new guy. But, hey, you got your homie with you. He just came from Sacramento Kings.
Tim, I don't know if I can follow that one or not. Obviously, Buddy's played pretty well in Indiana as well. But I think Tyrese would be a star with or without Buddy had been a part of that trade. High Flyer, anything?
Oh, I'm right with you. Tyrese Halliburton makes everybody around him better.
Yes.
Whether it's Buddy Hield or anybody else that's in the NBA uniform.
Yep.
This dude is the epitome of a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
He is a true point guard. I haven't seen guys set other players up this well probably since Chris Paul. To be able to get his own, score when he gets ready, but facilitates for everybody else. He's that important for the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, and to do it without turning over the basketball. His assist to turnover ratio is the thing that is just so eye-popping to me.
That's another thing. And without turning, that's why I said Chris Paul.
Yep.
Without turning the basketball over, that's huge.
Agreed.
I mean, his usage rate as far as turning the basketball over is crazy.
It is top in the NBA. And, you know, Buddy sometimes gets overlooked, but it's understandable too, to a little extent, right?
I mean, you think about it. Buddy's a jump shooter.
Yeah.
And, you know, in today's league, how many jump shooters can you find?
Mm-hmm.
You can find great jump shooters coming off some of these guys' benches.
Yep.
But you don't find great facilitators, and you don't find great facilitators who don't turn the basketball over.
Yep. No, those are rare. Those are very precious in this league. All right, let's go around the league, get you caught up on some other news. So obviously the Kings were just in Charlotte. LaMelo Ball is back with the Hornets. So the Kings didn't have to face them, but the Hornets are getting LaMelo Ball back, and obviously that is huge. He's making his return today against San Antonio.
Don't get it twisted. They're a different basketball club when Melo's at the helm.
Yep.
You know, he's almost kind of like the guy we were just talking about, like Halliburton. You know, he makes everybody else on that basketball team better. Now, I'm not going to say his usage rate is the same as Tyrese, but as far as being able to facilitate and make all the other guys around him better, he's just as equally as good.
Agreed. All right, how about this NBA report? And it's a finding that there's no link between load management and less injury risk. So 57-page report done by the NBA sent to all the teams.
Load management versus...
Yep. Says that the frequency of game participation and injury, there is no correlation between the two.
Load management and what's the other one?
And injury. So what the
injury
the league has basically come out and said that what they're showing now, because they've reduced load management, right? Players are playing, right?
Okay.
And there's not more injuries as a result. That's basically what the NBA is trying to say. All this thought of like Greg Popovich and all these coaches have been doing all along, resting players because they don't want to risk further injury.
Really has no substantial backing.
Yes. Oh, now it is also an NBA report, right? So the league, I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't some independence to this or not, but it was issued by the NBA.
Okay. All right.
So
I roll with
there
it.
you go. Well, I know you're not a fan of load management, so you should be happy about this report.
Well, you know, Scott, it don't concern me anymore. Okay. You know, maybe if I was back in a uniform, I might look at it a little bit different, but I came from an era to where you played. You know, you knew that it's 82. And that's what you signed up for. And you were obligated to be out there every 82, no matter if you're winning, losing, or getting blown out. So, you know, for guys to say, well, I can't play back-to-backs, that hurts me right there. I'm not trying to hear that. You know, Bill Russell played back-to-backs wearing a pair of Converse tennis shoes, all right? Think about it. Didn't have none of those nice, cushy new Air Jordans that you wear and with all the air paddings and the pump-ups and all the knee pads and everything that these new young jack cats got nowadays. The old guys did it and did it with less.
Yep.
So what are you crying about?
I hear no reason to. You're not risking more injury.
I mean, the new floors that they put down now. I mean, falling down on an NBA floor is almost like laying down in your bed. I mean, they got cushion up under them and springs and everything. But Bill Russell played on concrete.
I hear you. All right. No surprise here. Adam Silver coming out and saying the NBA in-season tourney will return, no doubt, next year.
You know what was a huge success?
Yep. We were playing Name That Fine on Wednesday with Raptors head coach Darko Rajakovic. You know what the total amount was? Kyle, you said it was going to be, 75?
No, I said 75.
You said 75. I said 100.
I know me and Nate are very similar, but it was Nate here on Wednesday.
Oh, you're right. My apologies. You're right. It was Nate, not you, Kyle. My bad on that. Nate, I think, also agreed with me that it was $100,000. The league let him off light. It was just a $25 normal $1,000 fine for.
I said that straight out the gate, but then after I heard it, After it started rolling downhill, I'm like, ooh.
Yep.
But you know what?
I think because of our point, there was a lot of truth to what he said.
It was a lot of truth to what the man said. And then again, too, it's his first offense.
True.
They always let you go light on your first offense.
Yeah.
Draymond Green just didn't get,
yeah, that's true.
12 games out the gate, which he should have. But, first offense, they use a slap on the hand.
All right. That is all true. We got to take the break. When we come back, we will focus in on the Sixers. And, of course, the game tonight will get you caught up on all the other games going on in the league as well. Game night brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. As you set your New Year's resolutions, maybe one of them is to give back to our community, do something good for the kids who could use a mentor in this great community of Sacramento. Big Brothers, Big Sisters, such a great nonprofit. Consider maybe becoming a volunteer mentor and helping out a kid who could use one in our area. Give them a call, 916-646-9300, or go to bbbs-sac.org to learn all about becoming a volunteer mentor. More of Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
All righty, we're live on YouTube. Also, I'd like to say, I know that you said he got a light fine at the end of it, but I would not like my entire game check to be taken away in a fine.
Yeah,
That's
but you've heard, obviously, what did you think it was going to be? I mean, 25 is the bare minimum. It was 25 to start in. That was the buy-in for going in the post game.
But 25. So I looked it up. He makes about $2 million a year. If he coaches 82 games, that's his entire game check for that night gone at once.
Kyle, do you think he's going to have to pay for that fine?
No, but I'm
Okay.
just that's a good point. Yeah, they don't actually,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know actually, because they can just subtract it from his salary.
Yeah,
like,
it'll
it's
be taken out of
different.
his salary. But regardless, I mean, the things he said and the way he said them, he basically called out the league and just said there was no chance the Raptors had a chance to win in LA with the officiating.
So, yeah,
It's basically what he said.
Totally fair. I just the characterization of light is not how I would.
Okay, and
put
I
it
agree
down.
with you. I'm not pulling out my wallet and paying a $25,000 fine. I get it.
I regardless of the figure itself,
Yes.
I don't want to have to, I've done the drive guys today. We're here having fun. I'm working the Kings game after this. I don't want to be doing that for free just because of something I said at the end to Henry Turner.
You have to understand too, man. These fines are astronomical to us. To us. I mean, think about it. Even somebody like Draymond Green, if he get fined $25,000, what do he probably got $25,000 in his pocket, bro.
Well, that's why the suspension sucks so much for him, because the suspension means he lost
without pay.
Yeah, $800,000 a night or whatever it is.
But it wasn't that much a night. But
It's about $150,000 a game.
But do you know they signed Draymond for $100 million? Okay, so I've said it before and I'll say it again. Draymond Green won't be standing on the corner holding a sign, "We'll work for food."
No. You know who should pay Darko's fine is Scotty Barnes, because within the tirade, he came out and said that Scotty Barnes is the face of the NBA, will be the face of the NBA. I mean, nobody's been a better agent for Scotty Barnes than his head coach.
And I definitely think the team is going to take care of that, man, because that's this coach, really going out for his players and the organization. And like I said, Scott, the reason why it wasn't that stiff, it had some truth to it.
An amendment in his contract that includes a $25,000 raise for meeting a very simple objective.
Hey, he might have to pay it, and all of a sudden he gets a $25,000 bonus.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
I think.
What else? Anything in the chat to go over?
Right now we'll peek in and see what people are talking about, but let's see.
My own conversation going on in the chat room right now.
You know what, Scooter?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the All-Star thing.
Oh, let's
man.
do it. Yep.
There's no way Şengün should be anywhere on top of Sabonis. Even though he played well against
I hope he gets in, though.
He's a good young player.
Hey, he played like gangbusters against the Kings. You have to give him that.
You do.
But still, in the overall scheme of things,
it's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
I hope Şengün gets that 12th spot. By the way, All-Star game should be 15. I say
Without
that
a
all
doubt.
the
You're
time.
100% correct about
We got 10 seconds till we come back. Hopefully Şengün and Sabonis both get it.
Welcome back in the game night right here. Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the High Flyer Henry Turner. Game night brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at mbofstockton.com. Let's look at the injury report for tonight. Obviously, it's a big part of this contest. Kevin Herter, who we saw tweak his ankle. It was so weird, just right at the beginning of the game. Do you think he landed on Keegan's foot?
Of course, he did.
Okay. I couldn't quite tell if he just took a bad step. Or
they swapped the camera around me. It's about 4 billion cameras in NBA arenas nowadays, and they showed exactly. He came down on Keegan's foot and rolled it.
Yeah, because he knew right away. And it was just such a freak injury. And he knew he was hurt and took himself out of the game, went right back to the locker room. He's out tonight officially. For the 76ers, of course, the big one, no Joel Embiid. He's missing his third game, knee swelling. No Robert Covington either. That shouldn't go unnoticed. He's also got knee swelling. Kenneth Lofton Jr. also out. All right, let's talk about the Sixers. Let's talk a bit about the big man Embiid, because he is having truly a back-to-back MVP type season this year. He's leading the league in scoring. His numbers are just silly. He's at 36 points a game when he plays, or 34.6 points a game. Still ridiculous. Nearly 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, and over a steal per contest.
He's the new Shaquille O'Neal. Right now in this state that we're in the NBA, no one can match up with him at size, strength, and tenacity. Nobody. I mean, the closest thing we got to it is the Joker. And we seen now. I don't want people to get misunderstood. We seen them go head to head, and Joker had nothing for him. Now, I do think the Joker is a better player, but one-on-one, Joker couldn't touch him, man. I mean, Embiid went through him like table butter.
Well, I think the one thing that everybody would agree on, Embiid's a better defensive player.
A better defensive player, yes. Being able to protect the rim and
his physicality,
yes,
ability to block shots.
But I'll tell you what, make it, because see, this is where I stand on business, Scott. Joker makes everybody else better, and when you have that under your umbrella, that shoots you through the roof in my book. Because Embiid can get his, and Joker can get his, but when you have that other attribute to where you can make everybody else around you better, that shoots you through the stratosphere in my book.
Without a doubt. But, when you look at Embiid at his numbers, and I didn't really realize this, but he's averaging 6 assists a game. That's impressive.
It's impressive. It's good. It ain't Joker-like, but it's good. Embiid numbers by himself is really going to look great. But I'm going to tell you, when you add Joker numbers for what he does himself on the court, and then add up all the other assists and the help that he gives other guys, I bet you that's when you say, whoa, wait a minute. Joker value is a lot higher than what Embiid's is.
Well, we're talking about two of the very best, without a doubt. So the value is very high, both cases. All right, Embiid's out. The injury report brought to you by the injury firm of Arnold Law, providing justice for you since 1975. If you're injured, call the Arnold Law Firm, 916-777-7777. Sixers are 23-13. They're half game back in the loss column from the Bucks. They're 4 games back in the loss column from the Celtics. If they're fully healthy, assuming Embiid and the knee comes back, obviously if it doesn't, they have got no shot. But if they do, can this current roster as it stands compete against the Celtics and the Bucks in the East?
Top 3.
That's good as it can be.
Top 3.
Okay.
They're definitely a top 3 team.
What do they have to do to get to that next level? What do they need?
I thought they still need another elite guard. Joel Embiid handles everything down low. He no one can touch him. But Tobias Harris is a good 3. But I definitely think that, they needed another guard to really hold things down. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay. All right. As for the Kings tonight, obviously a big break without Embiid. They've won 2. They're feeling good. What's the key to tonight?
I think inside play. I think the Kings need to start on the inside, see what they can do, see if they can still dominate in the paint. Because we know the Kings can shoot from the outside. That's their staple. That's what they do well. But if you can start out the game dominating on the inside and then move to the outside, that puts you in a real good position.
Very good position. They've got a great chance to get their third win here. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey is somebody they're going to have to deal with.
Tyrese Maxey has definitely stepped out of a shadow and really showing what he can do for Philly. Seeing that when they moved on and made the trade, I think Tyrese Maxey is one of the guys that really benefited from it because it pushed him out into the forefront.
Yeah, he's becoming an elite player. He's a guy who will get all-star consideration for sure. All right, that's going to do it for game night. High Flyer is always great to work with.
It's good.
I know this is the fastest hour in radio.
Oh my God.
It goes too fast. I know, but you'll be here for a while. You get a chance to continue on. I've got to just keep it all pent up until Sunday.
I'm going to hang out, bro.
All right, Kings Life pregame coming up next. Have a great call tonight, Henry.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jason Ross will be in here for that. The G-Man's ready to join. Tip tonight, 4:30 in the city of brotherly love. Kings and Sixers. Sacramento looking to make this a winning road trip. That would be something pretty special with 2 games left in Milwaukee and Phoenix. Keep it tuned here all afternoon and evening long. Kings basketball. Sactown Sports, 1140.
Fine, and in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, skies will stay cloudy tonight with overnight lows in the low 40s. Tomorrow, expect occasional rain. The steadiest should be in the late afternoon and evening. It'll also be breezy. Sunday,